Coming to you from the Lone Star Studio in Austin, Texas, this is Til'ton the Scales. Here are your hosts Nathan Logan, Walter Hall, and the Heartbreak Kid,
Podcast,
Chet
and they
Bowen.
want the link.
They want the link, yes.
And I said we're still working out the kinks and making sure we don't get canceled. But once we figure that, we'll be all right.
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah, we need post-production to edit out our controversial takes.
Yeah. Well, if we go on to YouTube, we can't get canceled. It's just free stuff.
No, you can.
We're not inappropriate that way, but if we want to,
you could definitely get canceled for anything these days. That's what's fun about it.
Yes, but I don't think we don't say controversial.
I just want to get this out of the way before we continue. I am not sure how this will translate into the game on Sunday for Cameron, but I'm so proud of him because you guys both have had something happen in your life that I never got, which is like a sports sort of like breakthrough moment where like something clicked in your minds. I know you both know that. And so he's been in practice and they roll him out before he throws. And I've always taught him to drop back and throw. So that's my bad for not understanding, like you got to roll out and throw. So he would roll out and the coach would go, he's open. And so Cameron, whether or not his feet were set or not, would just throw it. And so at home, I taught him like, hey, the coach does not want you to throw bad passes. Trust me. That's not what they're looking for you to do. And so just like when he says throw it, stop, set, and then throw. You can give yourself 2 seconds. And today at practice, he was doing that. And even the coach came up to me and goes, hey, dude, your kid is dropping dimes right now. And I was like, well, thank you, coach. And I explained to the coach what happened. He was like, oh, that makes so much sense. They're going to call like 3 or 4 pass plays in JV football on Sunday. I'm terrified because if that's a pick 6, that destroys him. But at the same time, I am thrilled that his work is paying off. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But I'm a very proud dad.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
I'm glad you're working with him. Are you like reading some books or watching some stuff on how to coach them up or what?
Believe it or not, and this may sound weird to you guys, but like just playing against Josh Perkins, Chris Takeda, and the neighborhood kids in the parking lot in Norwoods, like when I was playing quarterback, like I learned a lot just like playing the street ball. So I just taught him how to like throw. I don't know a whole lot about the plays, but I coach him in flag football because that's easy. Like anyone can do that. These coaches though are well ahead of me, and I'm loving what they're teaching him, and I'm watching him grow, and it's amazing.
That's good. And you can learn from that and take it back to flag football. Is he still going to do flag or is he done flag?
Oh no, he's still gonna do flag, like just to keep himself in it. Like he doesn't care about any other sport. He just wants to play football. So,
Has he taken any shots yet?
What's that?
Has he taken any hard shots yet?
Oh yeah. He last Sunday he went down really hard. And they actually had to have me go over to the bench to get him back in because I don't know why, but they had no backup quarterback. So when he was out and he wanted to stay out, like he had no interest in going back in. So I had to go talk to him. And once I challenged him to a race, suddenly he was fine. And I asked him after the fact, like, hey man, like, tell me about your brain. Like what happened there? Because we always talk about the difference between hurt and injured. Like it's different to be hurt and injured. And he says, I've never felt that before. So I really did think I was injured. Now I know. That's just the welcome. That's welcome attack of football. And so he got hit a bunch of times today because he's on the JV team playing the kids a couple years older than him. He got hit a few times, bounced right back up. Like now he understands it. So yeah. What's Walter doing for the fall season?
Flag football. He's still he won't be 7 till next week. So he's dominating 6U flag football. He's like a monster. He's a head taller than anybody else. Yeah, so they do it all. You just sign up and they put you in a league. You don't have to say which one you go in. They put him in 6U.
I love it.
Which is kind of nice. He's always been he's always been a year younger than everybody because his birthday's in September. Yep. He's the youngest one in his grade. So he's always been, again, a year younger. So it's nice to see him being one of the older kids.
I think that's great.
And he's and in 6U, you've seen 6U. Like half of them don't know like what to do. They don't know the game. They don't know which way to run. They don't know anything about it. He can listen and pay attention and respond. So I think he'll do pretty well.
No,
he's a beast though. He's not. He doesn't have like grace. He doesn't have like we were outside playing football with my brother yesterday, and we were just playing football. And you can see in my nose, I think he damn near broke my glasses. Gave me a bloody nose. He tackled me in the face. Like he didn't mean he was going after the ball, but there's just no he He's just a bull. The first play they gave it to him, he gave him the ball, and he went directly up the middle and ran 3 of their players over. I'm like, nobody, it's flag football. Avoid them. You can't just run through them.
I love it though. That's great stuff. That's great stuff. So he's finally he's finally like one of the older ones or like one of the more experienced ones. Is that what you're saying?
Well, he's the oldest versus being the youngest. Like he did football for the first time this summer, and he did it in a league where it was all 8 and older, and he was only 6. He got better as it went on, but there's a big difference between a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I coached flag last year, half of them and I'm telling you, Wally, the fact that he pays attention is the biggest deal. Because when I was the kids, there was 3 kids out of 8 that would pay attention in the huddle, and those were the kids that like I could really count on, and the rest you can't. So if he's got it mentally, that's all that matters at this point.
Yeah. And that's literally the only place he does. He won't pay attention anywhere else. Nowhere else. Like you won't pay attention anywhere.
I love that.
But anyway, we can stop talking about kids. This is a podcast.
Let's move on from that.
We're tilting the scales, not raising the kids.
Tilting the scales.
Story time is good. This is the stuff that we need to be talking about.
But Nate, when I told people the name of our podcast and I explained why, they loved it. So that was it's almost like, why didn't we think of that at first?
So what you need, I don't need you to tell us, but what you told them, you need to like type that down and send it in the little chat so that I can like extrapolate some of that and put it in like a mission statement / what our intent is.
Yeah.
Because we kind of went through it, but if there's something in there, if something
there is
said about it intrigued them, then I'd like to capture that. You know what I mean? I'm actually going to send you also a link. Have you heard of Wally probably has, but Elite 11? Elite 11 was Trent Dilfer's. You've never heard about this, Wally?
I know Trent Dilfer.
I know Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer's he started like a mini series on ESPN with developing quarterbacks, and it was his niche that he started when he got out of the NFL, wasn't coaching, and then he moved to coaching. But he has a bunch of seasons and a bunch of series where he goes through drills with top college recruits and top high school athletes at quarterback. And they go through the different drills. They're invited personally by him because the tape that he's seen on them, and he critiques their form, critiques them in drills, footwork, all that stuff. So it's very, very educational stuff that is like, it's probably not what he needs right now. It's probably too much, but like
no, it might not be. That kid, I'm amazed sometimes.
Give him a little bit, and it could go a mile. So
I'm gonna text that. I'm texting that to Sabrina right now, just so like I don't forget. Elite 11.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, but I mean, whether or not he can digest it as his coach or as his mentor, if you're able to digest it and learn how to spoon feed it to him in smaller doses, that can only be a good thing.
Yep, I can do that.
Like this particular season has like Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson. There's a whole bunch of now professional DJ Ungalea, whatever his name is with Clemson.
That's great.
CJ Stroud,
CJ Stroud's not too bad, is he?
No, of course not.
He's not too bad.
So, but I'm gonna send you a link to one of the videos, and then you can just find the season.
Thank you.
Posted on the.
Appreciate that.
No problem, man. Educate yourself so you can speak his language at a minimum.
So this, just so you guys know, like when I explain our podcast, so like this guy, his name is Lou. He's like super cool. His son Brody is Cameron's like top running back, and we got talking, and I was like, yeah, I do like a podcast. Like we've never put it out there. He goes, well, tell me the gist. And so I want to make sure you guys agree with what I said, because I'll change it if you don't. But I was like, basically, we are the best of friends, and no matter if our politics differ, we're still going to be friends. So we're allowed to talk about anything, and it's all good, even if we disagree. So I got my boy Wally, who is like a super professional human services guy, cares about kids. I got my boy Nate, who's like a career Army guy, and then there's me, and like basically the two of them politically might be like this far apart. I find myself half the time, like somewhere in between, probably closer to Wally, but somewhere in between. And we have some really good conversations about that. Then we talk sports, and then we start yelling at each other, and it's a lot of fun. And basically, does that make sense?
No,
I take umbrage with one thing you said. You think you're more central than I am politically?
I don't know that, and I think that's an interesting thing. Like, because I've changed a lot over the past, like, I say as soon as I became a selectman, because I used to be super liberal, and I know you did too. And I think we both have moved closer to the center. I don't know if you're more left than me or if I'm more left than you. So I don't know. That's a good question.
You do. You just said that you're in the middle. You said I'm over here, Nate's over here, I'm in the middle.
I feel like
you clearly do have a stake on this.
Oh, well, I think I'm more in the middle than you, but I may be wrong. That's why I'm checking it out right now. Like, what do we think?
I think I'm the.
I would argue that in most topics, you're in the middle. Like Nate and I tend to fight more, and you tend to be moderator. I just question in terms of so overall in terms of our theme. Yeah, you're definitely the more of the middle guy in most every topic we talk about. But that's more personality, I think, than political divide. I think politically, you might still be left with me.
That's fair. That's why I asked. So like, I could change my narrative a little bit to be like, I tend to be the guy in the middle. If they start fighting, I'll try to bring us back together. But like, maybe that doesn't apply politically. Maybe not politically, but like that's just how we are as a group.
Yeah. No, yeah. I like that. I like that. I was kidding about that. It doesn't matter to me, but I like the description. I think it's apt.
Yeah. And the guy seemed interested. He asked me, he's like, send me the link. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right. So we got that guy.
That scares me.
Right. And another guy named Aaron was like, I want to see this. Like, cause I'm over there. You guys know me. I'm a super extrovert. So I'm talking to every parent, every coach. Like that's what I do. And so they're asking me what's going on tonight? Oh, actually I'm doing a podcast and, kind of seeing how it goes. And like podcasts, I'm like, well, not really, but yeah. I just hang out with my best friends, but yeah.
I love it. Yes. No, we need to start moving forward with it for sure.
I agree. I agree. I got to stop smoking weed on camera. I understand where you're getting at. I agree.
Well, listen.
All right, it's a roundabout way to get there, but I'm there.
They loved actually. Another thing I said was that we drink. I didn't say smoke weed, but we drink usually, and like by the beginning towards the end, you can see sort of the progression, and actually it's kind of fun. And they're like, I love that. They all loved it. They were like, that sounds actually a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
You actually have it down pretty good, Wally, where you move far enough away from
I turn away.
Or you just move away from the camera and you go past the background somehow. Like if you move back,
it's a ridiculous thing I have to hide. Frankly, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to have to hide it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if it's legal where you're at, then I don't think you need to hide it.
It's not.
It's not legal here.
Well, then maybe that's why you need to hide it.
Wally, don't you agree? Don't you agree? This is more unhealthy. What? This is more unhealthy than weed, and I can just drink it right now, and no one.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. Like, from my perspective, again, it's a personal rights kind of thing. Like, every state around us has it legal. Like, you don't get to tell me what I can and can't do. If I can drink this beer, I can smoke this bowl, and more importantly, it's also a revenue thing. Like, so you're just going to continue to let us dump millions and millions of dollars into Maine and Massachusetts economies for absolutely no reasonable reason. Just open it up, sell it, make a shit ton of money. We have a very significant revenue issue in New Hampshire. There is no broad-based tax. We have no way to fund our schools. We have very little ways to fund. I mean, live free or die, right?
Yep.
That's a very easy way to increase revenue. A very easy way to increase revenue.
Super easy. And I'm on the Economic Development Council in the chair in Goffstown, and there is nothing we can bring in for as far as new business, because our planning board, all that garbage is like so crazy. Like we are so stuck in our ways in New Hampshire that like no one wants to do business here. So at least let us open up, at least let us take advantage of what we do well. We drink really well. We got that taken care of with our liquor stores, and we smoke weed. So like let's at least take advantage of that.
Yeah. So I mean that's the answer, right? Is because the state wants to control it. I mean, there's no other model out there where the state controls distribution like we do in terms of hard liquor, right? Yep. The state controls liquor, and that's why people come here, because they can sell it lower because there's zero competition. Yep. They want to do the same thing with the weed shop. They want to own the weed shops and make all the money. Yep. That's the holdup. That's what Sununu wanted all along.
Yep.
It's coming. They'll get it.
It's a matter of
just a
time.
matter of time.
It's a matter
Sununu's
of
out. The next one that comes in, I think they both said they'll support it.
Yeah.
Joyce Craig and AOT.
And
Yeah.
gambling, right?
Oh, we've already legalized gambling, yeah.
Yeah,
Right? Gambling's worse for people than there's a lot of people that lose their shirt because of gambling. That can't pay for their kids' food. They can't pay their mortgage payment because of gambling.
Yep. But you don't say
There's not a lot of people. There's not a lot of people that are feeling that they're doing that because they're smoking too many blunts.
That is true.
That's true.
All right, so let's dive into Chet. You need to tell us about your day at Gillette Stadium as
oh man
season ticket holder. Take us from the moment you got into the party bus and then until you left the stadium or got home safely. So 3, 2, 1.
So in the morning I got up and we had our Friday night and then I had a Saturday night that was very similar. And I got up Sunday morning and I was like, man, this hurts, but I'm going to go get coffee. I went and get coffee and I was like, I get a fucking party bus coming. We have Laura meeting me. I got my boy Joel, who again, you guys have met. I'm not sure if you remember, but he was like my big brother in college. Yeah. And so, I picked him up on Saturday and him and I had a night of drinking the night before. So I get up, go get all this coffee, come back. And then I'm taking a shower. Sabrina was making subs. Like it was fucking awesome. The whole day seemed awesome. I had a drink in the shower. I haven't done that since college. Like I had an actual seltzer in the shower with me. Like, let's go. 10 o'clock in the morning. I come out of the shower. I'm in my underwear. I think I had a shirt on at least, but I come out. Sabrina's friend is there. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm sorry. I'm like, I was coming down the hallway and then her husband, who's awesome.
Freeway. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought this was going a different way. Sorry.
That would have been.
You said the day was awesome. I mean, that would have been.
Welcome. But her husband had dropped her off, so he goes, Chet, you need some sun because apparently my legs are really white. So then I got dressed.
You don't wear shorts very often.
I don't. But so we get in the bus, and the second we got in there, Sabrina was so mad at me for spending all that money. But the second we got in there, I looked at her and I was like, tell me this wasn't the best idea I've ever had. And she was like, it's the best idea you've ever had. So we just drove down there, like the whole drive to Gillette, we were just drinking seltzers. We got music. We got the party bus. We got all the lights on. It was fucking up. Like if we all go, guys, we have to do it that way. We have to do it. There's no other way. Now the problem is I will not go to Gillette anymore without a party bus. So it's going to
come on. That's not true. You can't drop that kind of money every time you're going to a game.
It was so awesome.
That was $1,000.
What's that?
That was $1,000. The party bus.
No, it was like more like 1,800. It ended up being because we'll get there.
You can't do that.
It was supposed to be 1,300, but we'll get there. So then we go to the game. And I was like, we got out of the bus. By the time we got out of the bus, we were all happy. Nobody cared that we didn't grill up sausages or whatever. Sabrina even forgot like half the food, and none of us cared. We were like so happy. And so we go into
wasted.
What's that?
And you were wasted.
And wasted. Were you wasted at this point? Like, talk to me about intoxication levels. That's got to be included in this story. Like, so when you get there, what's your intoxication level at that point?
Like, I'm way better now than I was by the time we got there.
Also, was the party bus like BYOB or was it provided for you?
Oh no, you're bringing coolers, you're bringing all your stuff, like you're good to go. They have like a sink in there and they have a fridge, like you do all that stuff, but like pretty much as you bring your own stuff. So we did that.
There wasn't like one bottle provided or like any beverages? Oh man. For $1,800, I don't know. Anyway, okay, go ahead.
It was amazing. Like I am too old now to like drive down there and have someone have us sit in traffic and do all that shit. And like, I can't do it anymore. So we got down there.
I agree.
We were there like 45 minutes ahead of time. So I went to one of the disgusting porta potties. And then we came back. We went into the game. We walked up. Our seats are super nosebleed seats. I thought I was going to hate them. I may not want to upgrade because we're on the end zone and I could see everything. Like you lose the ball sometimes if they do like a handoff, right? You're like, oh, where is it? But for the most part, you can see everything. That was awesome. And then we we basically like bought some. I had aisle seats. Like it had no problem to like go out, get whatever I wanted, drinks, food, whatever, and then they go into overtime, and then I started getting nervous because I was like, I felt like we were going to win that game. We go into overtime, and I felt it like I was there, and I felt it like, oh no, oh no, and then I was at the
And what's your intoxication level at that point?
high. Like I was probably like at that point, I was probably like, I'm willing to piss my pants to sit here, kind of intoxicated. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's
Okay.
kind of where I was at that point.
Please
To the
continue.
point,
You've been there before, Will?
Yeah. I'm hoping to get there tonight.
I want to get there tonight too. But what happened was I was that guy. Like I had Seattle fans behind us, and I was like, "Hey guys, like, hey, we had a lot of great years here. I hope it's going well." Like, and I felt confident we're going to win. And by the end, I was like, "Fuck you guys, I hate you." Because I didn't really say that, but like in my mind. And when they hit the field goal at the end, Seattle, I was so drunk, I thought they missed. So I stood up like, yes. And every Seattle fan behind me did the same thing. And I looked and I was like, it was so bad.
Oh.
But then the party bus home, we played loud music, we sang, we danced. It was a great time. And then luckily my son was only like less than a mile away. So we picked him up in the party bus. So he got a chance to
that's awesome.
That's cool.
And so he hopped on with us. We played his favorites. He loves Cody Rhodes in WWE. The same way I like Shawn Michaels. Actually, he's not that obsessed, but like this, he likes Cody Rhodes. And so he played the Cody Rhodes song. He got his chance to have that. We got home. I think everyone had a blast. It sucks that we lost that game, but it was so fun. And I will do a party bus again with my like family when we go next time. It'll be a little different, obviously, but
could have been worse. It could have been the Jets game, right?
oh my God, that game was so fucking terrible.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Sorry, I shouldn't have muddied the water. That sounds amazing. Chester.
It was a really good time. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds.
Guys, I have season tickets. Like we can do this. Like I think you guys should come up here at some point, whether it's this year or next year. We'll do the party bus, and let's like we'll hopefully does Jeff hate us?
No, he doesn't hate us. So how are you two dividing the tickets up? Like, what's your plan as far as that goes? Have you talked about it?
Yeah, so him and I pay half and half, and then we each take responsibility for a certain amount of games. So he has the next game, for instance.
Yep.
Not San Francisco. I think we're going there, but the game after that, he's got that one. We have and half, and then I have to sell some, and we sell. I'm not sure about him, but I'm selling face value. Like I'm not looking to make money. I'm just looking to do face value. So.
Well, the other part of that is because they're your season tickets, you're beholden to them. So if you sell them to an asshole, you mark it up. I mean, if you sell it at face value, you can probably sell it to people people you trust.
Yes.
If you're marking it up, you're gonna have to sell to strangers, and you thereby put your tickets at risk. Right. There's a lot of assholes.
Right. I agree. Like there were some assholes in front of us. They were Patriots fans, but they were like asshole Patriots fans. Like I was solid with them because they're Pats fans, but like I would not be their friends. You know what I mean? So
you're good in the crowd. You're good with those folks.
Yeah. No, I made it work. But yeah, I'm looking to sell just face value. Just like, hey guys, like we're friends. I'm just trying to make the money I spent back. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like an amazing day. At some point, yes, I want to experience a football game with you.
Be awesome.
Or the both of y'all. We just need to make the time frame work.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean,
what did we say? What did we say?
I kind of want to go tailgate and drive down our own, set it up, grill, make a feast, hang out for a little bit.
We can do that.
That's the experience. That's a football experience I want.
So if Zach is willing to, my only concern is like, just, I don't want to drive. Right? So like if we have someone, like you said, Zach or something that's willing to drive us, whoever drives gets their ticket for free. That's my policy. Like no one wants to drive. And if you guys want to do that, we could leave at like 7 a.m, get down there early and then do that. I would do that too, Wally. Like, I'm just saying like without a designated
driving. Yeah. No, I hear you.
I'm looking at the party bus every time.
Yeah. What were the dates that we discussed?
I think he's selling it. So it seems like you looking to recoup the cost of tickets for the remaining games.
Yeah, that's it. Like nothing more. So I think we were looking at December. I think Nate is what we talked about last time, like end of December, basically.
12.29 versus the Chargers.
Yep.
What's one each one face value? Or
So I guess Joel told me it changes somewhere in the realm of 118.
it changes per game, like depending on the matchup.
Yeah. So I
Oh,
paid.
no kidding. So the more
so Joel and I
desirable
both
games.
paid 1,800 each.
Which one is 1,800 each?
You guys still froze? Did you guys freeze?
You were freezing.
Okay.
Yeah, you're kind of freezing up on us.
Oh no! Did I lose you guys?
Nope.
No,
we
you
still
froze.
hear
I can hear you.
The screen's frozen.
Can't
Oh.
see you. Oh, we can see you.
Can you see us?
God damn it! Come back. You guys back? We back?
There he is.
All right, I lost you for a
There
second.
he is.
But yeah, no. So Joel and I both paid about 1,800, like 1,780 or whatever. And then Joel told me that the ticket prices changed. I didn't know that. I thought they were pretty much standard for where we are.
Yeah.
So we just got to look up every week like what they are, and then just recoup that amount, like just simple Venmo or something, and then we're good to go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Check.
So we're looking at December 29th. Like I would do that. Like it's gonna be cold as shit. I would do that. That'd be fun.
Let's see. Patriots tickets.
Yeah, Nate, look at section 323. Like it's way up there. But I actually like it, believe it or not.
323 is way up there. Yeah.
When are you bringing the boy down?
So the all of us are going to go down. I think we identified November 24th.
Nice.
82 apiece for that game. 82 apiece.
At 323?
For the Chargers game, yeah.
So maybe we overpaid then. Like, so I think what they do is they like put some up, some down. Like, so maybe I don't know how season tickets work, but if I just averaged out, like we have 8 home games this season. I paid 1,800. It came out to 118 a ticket. But yeah, we'll do whatever it says.
There's probably fees. There's probably fee. Yeah, I would imagine that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, fees and all that stuff.
Teams
Yeah.
are pretty good at making money.
Yes, they are.
But like, I would love to go with you guys.
154 for the Texans game.
Oh,
no kidding.
Oh, Joel was right then.
That's a huge swing.
That's a huge swing. Right. So like that's confusing to me.
Well, the weather's still pretty nice. Houston has a large following.
Yep.
Houston's a good team. I like that Houston
Chargers,
team. Nico
not too many
Collins is the
people
real
from
deal.
San Diego are going to travel to Massachusetts and want to sit in the
Cam Akers,
game.
hottest pickup of the weekend. Their two top running backs went down.
Houston, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice
Cam
stuff.
Akers. I picked him up and started him in one of my other leagues. Can I tell you guys? I traded for Cooper Kupp in 2 different leagues.
You did, and he's out.
After week 1.
He's out.
Oh no.
2 different leagues.
He's on the IR. Actually, is he on the IR?
He went down. He played a fucking 2 quarters and then went down. I traded for him 2 of my 5 leagues, and I gave up good players for him.
Yeah.
I feel bad for anybody who's looking at San Francisco with a rant. I had Puka Nacua, like he was my guy last year. He got me pretty far last year, and this year I was like, oh god damn it. So like injuries suck in fantasy football.
Injuries suck.
Yeah, I'm dealing with it. All right, I guess we don't need to talk about the Patriots and the Seahawks. That was a well played game, very evenly matched. I thought we should have done a couple things differently. We would have won the game, but
I will say this: when I was there live, when they called the timeout, I was like, "We just burned our last timeout already," because he was trying to avoid the 12 men on the field.
yeah.
I do remember, like in real time, like even I don't think I was too drunk yet, so I was still there, and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? Why did we burn that timeout?" That was one thing I would say I saw in real time, and I was like, "Come on, man!" But yeah,
And we'll just go.
it was a fun time though. It was super fun. It was super
off
fun.
of the recency bias. You guys wanted to talk about the game on our little text thread, and I asked to curtail or curb the conversation and think about give me again. We know the outcome. Disappointing loss. We could talk about how well Aaron Rodgers played against our defense, which no slouch, but there are a lot of missed tackles, a lot of bad plays on offense, like just guys running free at the quarterback. Like, not really sure how that happens because I've worn a helmet before, but to not have the peripheral vision to see somebody running full speed off to your opposite side and off the edge that you're supposed to protect multiple times and even up the middle. Like, it looked really bad on offense. And there are things that we could have done differently, but and I'll get to mine, but I wanted you guys to give me a good and a bad, or what we call in the military, a sustain and an improve. And an improve is, something, that we want to see more of. Or I'm sorry, a sustain is something that we want to see more of. And an improve is something that we didn't like. We got to figure out how to either do that better, whether it's through coaching, game planning, whatever it is, but do one of those, each of those for the offense and the defense. So who wants to start? And I'll give mine at the end.
Well, I think we should start Nate, if you don't mind, I think we should start with like one or the other, like defense first or offense first. And then Wally, you should go.
Yeah. All right. Let's start offense. There's a lot that needs to improve offensively. I think chief among it is the offensive line. We're not going to be able to do anything if they don't start blocking. Yeah. They ran a lot of 2 tight end sets. I was hoping to see better blocking out of it. But they need to improve. They need to improve in every aspect of their. I don't know if it's the Alex Van Pelt's offense, but they had you guys. Somebody mentioned in our text thread, they had our snap count down almost immediately. All of them did every time. And the jumps they got on the offensive line, I saw one play where there were 3 men rushing. And we had a 6-man offensive front, and all 3 of them got to the quarterback. I'm like, how the fuck in an NFL team does that happen? I think you and I could block one of those guys. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But I also, the flip side of that is again, something that I want to see more. I liked when they started doing more of the ball control stuff, and they were doing the short passes with Hooper, the tight end, and Hunter Henry, and Ramondre Stevenson in there. If we made a concerted effort to do that earlier, I think we could be all right. But again, it's hard to when you don't have a solid offensive line. It's hard to do anything.
So that's your bad. Yeah. What's your good on the offense? I know
the good is I liked what I saw out of Pop Douglas. I felt like they finally got him involved. I feel like, again, in the mold of a ball control offense, and his being able to do like an Edelman roll, those short unders where you can get the 5-6 yards, and they can sometimes turn it into 20. He's fast. He's more importantly, he's quick. Actually, I would say he's quick. He can get off the line quick. He gets into his roots real quick. I think if we're going to run a lot of those 2 tight end sets with a guy like that in there, we could be a good offensive team. That's what I like. That's what I want to see more of. I want to see more of that offense. Him in particular, 2 tight ends, a lot of short passes, running the ball frequently. That's what I want to see. I want to see a lot of that.
Yep. Fair enough. Nate, you said you want to go last?
Yeah.
Okay. So offense, no one is going to disagree. The offensive line sucked, and it sucked. And so, Wally, I agree with you on Pop Douglas too. I might have used that one, but one thing I will say, if there's something I had to like, I think it's that Jacoby Brissett is one tough son of a bitch. You can't. He is not the problem right now. He kept getting up, and they replaced him at the end. And I think they did it to protect him, not to show off Drake May. And I look at Jacoby Brissett, and I'm like, man, the fact that he is not throwing his helmet and body slamming his own players right now it says a lot about that guy. I'll say I like that part. I don't know how that looks as far as wins or losses, but I guess that's the part that I did like about it.
I think our new over-under should be how many weeks until he gets injured versus wins.
Right? Right?
I don't see how he's going to make it to week 6. He gets hit so hard, so often.
Yeah. And he still gets up and he still tries to play. Ultimate respect for that guy. What do you got, Nate?
You had an improve?
Improve. Sorry, I missed that one.
Now, is that something that has improved? I missed it too, or something that needs to improve?
Something that you want to see improve from,
All right, well, you
again,
go first.
other than the every facet, because we could dial in and nitpick every aspect of that game on offense, but something specifically like maybe you like and you didn't see it, and you want us to improve by doing more of that. Like, I mean,
So it's an idea by which we can improve performance on offense.
Oh no, Wally,
Yeah,
you did
so
say it. You did
I
say
did say it. It's that ball control offense.
yeah, no,
It's the
you
ball
did.
control offense.
Yeah, you did.
Too big. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
was
wasn't
waiting for Chet.
Sorry, my bad. I missed it. So I think for me on offense, I just want to see, honestly, I just want to see decision making by the coaching improve, like the play calls. I think that sometimes it's just, and I don't. To your point, Nate, I'm not talking even about snap count, although that was a great point. Like, I'm talking about just legitimate play calling, and like, this is the situation you're in. Where are your best players? Let's take advantage of them. I still think that they haven't figured that out yet. So that's a point to improve on offense.
Yeah. Offensively, I agree. I mean, you can't not agree with everything you guys said. So
Right.
there were just offensively, obviously. I think obvious we can't improve the players that are on the field. We can only coach the players on the field, and
Yep.
the coaches have to adjust their coaching style and their techniques. And I think that's probably my improve, is that when the coaches see something happening on the field, i.e., the defensive lineman jumping the snap count and like moving faster than the offensive line because they're anticipating the snap count, there's got to be an adjustment. I mean, and how do you do that? You adjust that with play. If it's an aggressive defense in general, you adjust it with some motion. You adjust it. The defense has to think a little bit more. It's hard to put an attacking defense on their heels, but there are things that you can do to mitigate it. And you know, we run the ball well. My improve is like, or my sustain is run the ball. Like, we did that well, and we got away from it in the first couple drives. Yeah, we got stopped on first down, but
we were down 14.
Yeah, we can't be what we're not. We have no off. We can't throw the ball unless we have a running threat to like keep the defense balanced.
Right.
I mean, again, there are other ways to do it. If the defense is as aggressive as they were last night, it's not hard to create some. How many times was Jacoby Brissett in the shotgun? Like, he took the ball under center and he was doing like a 12-step drop. And of course, if you drop that far back, the defense is taking an angle to try and meet you there.
Of course they are. Yep.
Like, so adjust that. Why is he doing a 12-step drop on a play, whether it was a play action or a play that he snapped the ball from center? We should already know, and the coaches should already know, if he's taking the snap from center and it's a pass or a run option or RPO, he should be 3 steps and the ball's out, or he's on his way downfield sliding, avoiding a hit. Like,
Pop will help with that. The more time they have to play together, the more opportunities they have. That's exactly his game. And that's exactly what I was talking about. They do more of that stuff, and we're golden. I couldn't agree with you more.
He will, but I mean, again, Ramondre didn't get enough carries to get any kind of tread moving forward. Like, he had
He was down so big so early, he couldn't.
Yeah. Well, they tried to get too cute.
You can't deviate from your strengths, though, especially us. Like, we can't. Doesn't matter the score, because our defense, yes, they were playing bad. We haven't gotten to that side of the ball yet, but our defense could have sustained, if we had a couple sustained drives, which we did, but we failed to score. They held a good team to 24 points. I guarantee that team offensively is a lot more talented, and we'll see in the coming weeks. If Aaron Rodgers continues to play like that, our defense is no slouch. Like, we know how to play defense, and our coach knows how to play defense. I think where we're seeing a shortcoming is And again, this is the way that the league is shifting. You see all these new head coaches that are on offense. They have a better rapport with their quarterback in the offensive side of the ball, and they're more open-minded. They get the right players in their system. The offensive coordinator who we have doesn't have that leeway, doesn't have that authorization to get those players into a system. Also didn't have a lot of opportunity to do that either. But he's a defensive-minded coach. I think he has good rapport with all the players, but that is the obvious shortcoming that we have on our team, is that our offense is inept and very no skill players, untalented, however you want to define it. Like there isn't a deep threat. There isn't, or maybe it's the fact that our quarterback just isn't that good to give us that opportunity to have a deep threat, because he can get the ball down the middle of the field. He likes that the double tight end sets, and I do too. But that's still not pushing the defense away. Otherwise, we'd see things like Aaron Rodgers had with a guy that he's thrown 2 balls to in the first 2 games. He goes out and leads the team in receptions, in Tyler Conklin, because the middle of the field's wide open, because he's looking the defense off of the middle of that field, and he's dropping dimes. But yeah, there's a lot of shortcomings on the offensive side. I just think our strength is running the ball, and because offensive linemen, they're not bad at run blocking. They prefer to run block. Like, they'd rather pull and knock somebody's head off and move forward and go downfield than to backpedal and
and protect the pass.
Somebody. So,
right.
I hear what you're saying, but we need to be in the games. They're not going to run the ball if they're down 3 touchdowns. They're just not. They're going to throw it. Every team in the NFL is going to throw in that situation. So I felt like the defense came into form in the second half, but that first half, holy cow, they were moving at will. We couldn't stop them. The only time we stopped them was when they fucked up. He got penalties or they overthrew it. Like, he completed every throw he made. It was unbelievable. Even against Gonzalez, what happened? Like, oh my God,
that's scary. That's scary.
I was so excited about him until, he looked horrible.
He did, and that is scary. Sorry, Nate, to stick with your formula. So Wally, defense.
No, yeah, he just started, but yeah, just give us an improve and a sustain on defense, like.
Again, so I talked about what I didn't like. What I do like. I felt like we did a better job in the second half. I felt like we were making tackles more. I felt like our secondary started stepping up. Improve. I want our defensive line. I want our pass rush to continue to improve. I see flashes of it. I saw flashes of it multiple times last night, and I think that we have the pieces in place, and I think they're going to continue to get progressively better. I agree with you, Nate. I think this squad is going to. They're young. They're going to continue to improve. I think they're going to round into form. It's early in the season on a young team. I think they're going to round into form. And what was the safety that was out at the last minute?
Peppers?
Yeah, Peppers.
Our safety? Yeah, Peppers.
Yeah, that's a big loss. And when you're talking about Conklin over the middle, who's usually guarding him? It's Peppers, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that accounts for a lot of that. When healthy, I think our defense can compete with anybody. I wasn't 20. The fact that we only held them to 24, I think, was a feat. That could have been a 42-point game. Part of that's luck. If we're being honest, if we're being 100% honest with each other, that game was much further apart than the score even implied. But we held them to 24.
Yeah, that is the saving grace, right? There were a lot of Aaron Rodgers left a lot of points out there.
A lot of points
out
there.
I think it was because in that instance, it was because our defense is as good as they are. They're going to improve, but that's probably the best defense that Aaron Rodgers faced this year so far. You could argue that San Francisco was, but their D line is definitely better, but I don't know about their secondary. Overall team defense, I would argue.
I would pick San Fran over New England.
Yeah, I would as well, but so yeah, check. Go ahead with your sustain and improve on our defensive side.
So our defensive side, I think that we lost the blitz because we were so scared of the wide receivers that, Aaron Rodgers knew. Like, Aaron Rodgers is a 40-year-old man. I know he only rushed for 19 yards, but the ones that he did rush for were like, it was so clear that like we were so terrified of him throwing down the field that like we just gave him those yards. So I want to see us improve. I would like to. I thought it sucked that they let go of the blitz. What I thought they did well, I think I agree with you guys. Second half, like, tightened up a little bit, right? But I also worried that, like, was it just that the Jets had it so under control that it looked like we tightened up and we didn't? Like, I do worry about that. And I think room for, like, going against San Francisco, especially because they're missing all their weapons, or not all of them, but like they still have Brandon Ayuk, but for the most part, they're decimated with injury. Take advantage of where
Jordan Mason's probably the second best running back in the league, behind Christian McCaffrey.
Right? Like,
anyway, sorry.
No, I agree though. I can't let that go. I agree. He looks really good. So if I were San Francisco, by the way, sorry, I'm on a tangent, but like I would trade Christian McCaffrey right now and just keep for everything you can get and keep Jordan Mason. Either way, I do think that we have to be better at defense, understanding what the other team is bringing to the table and how we approach that. Aaron Rodgers might have been a question mark for them. Like, is he still Aaron Rodgers? Clearly, we learned last night that he still is. So maybe they didn't know that, but yeah, that's what I want to see, is them being better at taking away your best weapon and the blitz.
Well, he looks old as shit, doesn't he?
He does.
Like his face, like, did you see the interview? He looks old. He looks old.
I got the crow's thing going on here. I'm losing my hair. Like, he's the same.
I would say his wrinkles are deeper than yours.
They are. It's the ayahuasca.
What's it called?
The ayahuasca.
It doesn't help with the skin. It tightens it up.
Here's the ayahuasca.
Hold on, rewind. What the fuck is the ayahuasca?
He went on Rogan and talked about he went on like a spiritual journey and took ayahuasca. It's a hallucinogenic drug, and Native Americans take it for like spiritual, like seeing, you know what I mean, kind of ceremonial reasons. Yeah. It fucks you up. It's a yeah.
Isn't it?
It's like mushrooms.
LSD, basically.
Where does ayahuasca originate from?
I don't know.
Isn't that almost like peyote?
I know. Good for him though. I mean, he whooped our ass.
Yeah, I was going to say something of that.
Yeah,
I think I want to say it's a tea, maybe. I don't fucking know.
Like, it's a Native American thing. They
Rogan loves it. He talks about it a lot.
See their spirit animals. Yeah. So the defense, man, they got to make open field tackles. There were just some tackles that were inexcusable. Even if it is a big guy running you over, like, you got to tackle in the open field. We missed a lot of open field tackles in the first half, and I thought that was just I kind of chalk it up to, a team that went into won the first week, went into the second week. The defense dominated probably both of those games, and they went into overtime, and they came in on a short week and had to face Aaron Rodgers, and that was Aaron Rodgers. If he continues to play like that, he will be the best quarterback in our division, and potentially
he'll be MVP this year if he plays like that.
Potentially only second or third to like Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes or Jared Allen or Josh Allen, depending on how you feel. But like he was lights out. Like, the ball was coming out of his hands like we haven't seen in a few years. He had
Cam.
I mean, I agree, but I'm still gonna give him props. Like he it was their first game at home. He had he had all the things that a veteran quarterback can do. the savvy, the poise, be in charge of the snap count, be able to keep the defensive line off balance because they have a silent count, snap count, because they have the advantage of home field, because the crowd's going to be quiet for them, like all that stuff mattered, especially when you're playing against somebody that is playing to the caliber that he is. Now that's only one game, but we had tape from 2 games where he didn't play well, and it was against at least one defense that we agree is better than us, but the other defense was not better than us, and we probably could have taken some of that game footage and emulated some of it. But I think if he's playing that way, that's tough. It's tough to beat a team like that, especially with an offense that can't score or is still trying to find their way to score, find their identity, and not like, if we can run the ball again, we need that. I'd rather see them go out there, play 4 downs every time, run first through third, and then hope to get it on 4th down if that's what we need to do, But if we're not getting yards on offense and push and moving the ball, our defense is going to be very tired throughout the year, because I just think it was a short week, and they looked tired in the first half. They woke up in the second half, made some adjustments, just like you both said. And I thought that I like to see. One of the things that I liked and I want to see more of was our aggressiveness on defense, even when we were down. Like, we were still playing hard. Gonzalez at one point pretty much went for an interception. Had covered. Had Garrett Wilson covered like a blanket coverage. No one else in the league could probably. Well, maybe. 4 other quarterbacks could have actually made that throw to get it to Garrett Wilson.
That's a pick 6 against everybody except for Aaron Rodgers.
So I like the intensity. I like the still being aggressive. Any other quarterback that's going to be an interception and a potential pick 6.
I agree.
Change the momentum at a minimum. So
I forgot about that play. That's a good call. That's a really good call. Yep.
I like to see him still fighting. So, and Garrett Wilson is not. That team offensively is probably just as talented as any other team in our division.
Yeah.
Including Miami. I mean, they have a lot of money on that offensive side of the ball. Miami does, but I would argue that Garrett Wilson and for whatever reason Lazard, just because of his connection with Aaron Rodgers, is just.
No, to your point, though.
If they all stay healthy, they're going to be tough to beat. And
I agree.
The defense is going to get better throughout the year as well.
Yep, that's true. They're going to evolve and get better. We'll see what happens. But
no, you know what? They're the Jets. Like, people are high on the Jets this year. They stunk last year. They underperformed at every level. I have Brees Hall in a couple leagues, so I understand what you're saying. But I feel like this was a flash in the pan. This is Aaron Rodgers. He has one good game, and everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's fucking awesome! All bow to the greatest arm. He's got the livest arm. He's the most talented quarterback ever to play the game." And then he stinks for the next 6 weeks. This is what the Jets do too. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people buying the narrative. I'm sick of people buying the bullshit. The Jets stink. They're always gonna stink. They're gonna underperform, and they're gonna break your heart eventually. You guys gotta forget who we are. Don't let a game against the one of the bottom 3 teams in football determine the Jets are what the Jets are. I think Garrett Wilson is one of the most overrated wide receivers in football. I don't know why he was a first-round pick. I'm really not sure. He didn't put up numbers that warranted it last year in my eyes. I think the Jets' offense is entirely Brees Hall. Oh, my God, I love him. He's very good. He's very talented. I hate Aaron Rodgers, and I hate the narrative that he's the most talented quarterback to ever play the game. I don't think it's warranted. I don't think he's deserved. Yeah.
I mean,
fuck you.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers' personality at all. But Jesus Christ, the guy can throw 90 yards with a flick of his wrist. Like, I can't deny that that's the truth. Like, that's tough. I will say this about Nate, you mentioned Miami and their talent on offense. I couldn't agree more. Like, there's no way. Like, if I had a fantasy team, there is no way I would ever trade Tyreek Hill.
They don't have a quarterback. Yeah, you could play quarterback for him.
Hey, I got
Like,
the
what the hell
guy that
good is
you want to
Tyreek
trade
Hill without a quarterback?
McCaffrey for. I got Roger Mason in that trade, who you want to keep and trade Christian McCaffrey.
No, you got Jordan Mason, and that was
That's what I meant. Sorry.
I kind of, now that I see that Christian McCaffrey's got that Achilles issue, I'm like, oh shit. I regret that. I regret it. I do.
So to go back to Wally, I have a follow-up question here. The last time everyone was saying Aaron Rodgers was so good, what team was he on?
Green Bay.
Green Bay Packers.
Who was he throwing to when he was there?
Over the course of his career?
No, just
Devontae
the last
Adams.
year that he was there, and everyone was saying he was the best thing since sliced bread.
Christian Watson.
He was a rookie, and they didn't do well that season. But I mean, it's not very often. It's been a while since anybody said this about Aaron Rodgers, because he didn't play last year, and he didn't.
They say it all the time. They say it all the time. They say it all the time.
Of course they do. But I mean, recency bias, right? Like, he doesn't matter what defense was on the field last night. Like, he had a very efficient game, and he was throwing darts, man. Like, there's just no other way. And I don't think that's I think that's the norm. Like, as long as he's healthy, as long as that team is healthy, his offensive line, like, he is a pocket passer. He's very elusive in the pocket and can get out, but if he has time, and that offensive line, they've rebuilt that offensive line, like, we're probably going to be hearing this for the rest of the year. I mean, because who else is there in our division? We're not contending. Miami's not going to contend.
Buffalo was going to beat the Jets.
There's a man named Josh Allen.
Yeah. Buffalo.
That is the actual. Yes. That's the actual best quarterback in our division.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he still sits as the best quarterback with even less talented wide receivers, and he'll still be the better team at the end of the year.
Well, he's actually better.
Aaron Rodgers is a fraud.
You said Garrett Wilson was the most overrated player and shouldn't have been a first rounder. So
I'm talking in like as far as the narrative. Everyone's talking about the Jets offense and all their talented skill players. What I'm saying is the national narrative is more people are touting the Jets than they are the Buffalo Bills.
I agree. Do you guys remember when Tampa Bay had Tom Brady? I know it sucks, but they played the NFC Championship game, and suddenly the media decided to say Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, but is Aaron Rodgers the best of all time? And I was like, you motherfuckers, fuck off. Yeah. And then Tom Brady destroyed him, right, in that game. And so, like, I hear you, Wally, like, Aaron Rodgers is, in some ways, like, they just pay so much attention to him, they make him the center of attention for everything. At the same time, and I'm sorry to say this, the guy flicks his wrist and he throws 90 yards. Like, I'm impressed by that. I don't know how
to loses in the playoffs. And then he loses in the playoffs.
It's nice to make
a lot of fucking good that's going to do.
I mean, it's nice to make it in the playoffs.
Can I be honest? I kind of like the guy too. Like, I've listened to his interviews. He was on Rogan. I enjoyed his shit. Like, he's actually a really intelligent guy, and he's not the wacko he's made out to be. So I don't hate him as a person. In fact, I like him as a person. I just fucking hate the narrative around him. And I've come to conclude that my future in perpetual football view is going to be jaded by the fact that I'm a Tom Brady torchbearer. And anyone that I feel people are like unfairly comparing Brady's legacy to, I'm going to viciously attack them. And they've done it with Aaron Rodgers. They're doing it with Patrick Mahomes, and I hate them both. And it's not fair to either one of them because they both seem like nice guys. But they're comparing it to Tom Brady, and I won't have it. I won't stand for it.
They're both really good.
Let my allegiance be known.
They're both really good quarterbacks, and they're both, at this point in their careers, the closest to Tom Brady.
Oh, my God, Nate, are you letting this fire?
Neither one can hold his jock strap yet.
Neither one.
I didn't say that.
God damn it. Patrick Mahomes hasn't even caught up to fucking Joe Montana yet. Can we fucking pump the brakes? God, no, I'm getting angry. Wally, this is what you do to me. You fire me up.
Patrick Mahomes has alluded, or not alluded, eclipsed every milestone that Joe Montana has, except for
one,
except for the number
championship.
Of Super Bowl
Yeah.
victories.
Yep.
I mean,
Listen, I guarantee. Hopefully, this podcast goes for a long time. I hope we all live for a long time. I am willing to talk about Patrick Mahomes being in the same league as Tom Brady when he makes 10 Super Bowls and wins 7 of them. Until then,
well, he
conversation.
could just win
closed.
7, and then he'd be in the conversation.
What if he wins 3 in a row?
Yeah, what if he wins?
Oh, God damn it. Okay, guys, listen. Here's fucking A. Here's the thing. 3 in a row is impressive, no doubt. But that's more to do with the
Hold
coaching
on,
staff.
it's never been done, so it's a little bit more than impressive. Never been done.
Yeah, no, it's unprecedented. I agree. If he wins 3 in a row, I will give him, let's
Not
say,
by a quarterback, but by
as
a
step.
team. Never been done by a team 3 in a row.
Fair enough. So if Patrick Mahomes gets 3 in a row, I'll give him 2 Super Bowls. Like I'll give him that thing. Okay. So now he's got what, 5? If he wins 3 in a row?
No, he's got.
No.
If
4.
I give him an extra, if I give him a +1 for winning 3 in a row, he's got 5, right?
Yeah, I hear you. He's still 2 behind.
He's still 2 behind. I'm just saying.
I have a hypothetical.
Hypothetical. Yep, go ahead.
All right. Kansas City is marching on towards the playoffs, the powerhouse that they are. Everything looks hopeless. The only thing that can stand in their way is putting Tom Brady at the helm of the Miami Dolphins to power them through and defeat the Chiefs and win the Super Bowl.
You can't do this to me.
This is a hypothetical I'm presenting. If the only thing that could stop the Kansas City Chiefs from winning a Super Bowl was Tom Brady as the Dolphins quarterback, would you be okay with that? Would you root for him?
Of course, we'd root for him. Of course, I would.
I would put Tom Brady in that Miami Dolphins uniform because we've seen it before where he did it with Tampa Bay. And like I was so anti-Tampa Bay until I was like, wait, Pat Mahomes is coming in. Tom Brady, go get him. Go get him.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm a Tom Brady.
I would root for Tom. I would make the argument that Tom Brady would still be playing for us right now. If for whatever reason we had decided to go in a different direction, whether it was the coach or the owner stood fast and said, no, I'm signing this guy. He's earned every dollar that I'm going to give him.
Yep.
This year, in the future, like, and Bob Kraft will probably never go on record and say that he should have chose one over the other. But if that was the linchpin, and I think now there is no question what the ownership should have done, especially if it's also been done the way that we have seen it in the documentary where.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I still don't know.
I still don't know either. Like I love me some Belichick. So I can't. I look at it and go.
I do too. But look again. The team that's on the field is Bill Belichick's team. Make no mistake about it. That is Bill Belichick's team. That is the coached up, the developed, the drafted team that Bill Belichick produced. And that
no, again, you're right. You're right.
Did he make some bad choices? Maybe so. Not only did he make some bad choices, I'm not disparaging the guy is a genius. Like for whatever reason, his thought process wasn't. He didn't do these things because he thought that they would fail. He didn't do it intentionally. He had good intentions behind it and a good thought process behind it, but it didn't pan out. And again, the whole Tom Brady thing, I would have hoped that it wouldn't have come down to choosing one or the other, but obviously in hindsight.
But you just did.
I'm not saying Bob Kraft had to do that, but Bob Kraft.
You cast your die. It's fine. You're a Brady guy.
Bob Kraft knows he should have signed Tom Brady and told Bill Belichick, I'm making this decision. How do you feel about it? This is still the direction that I want to go. It's your job to coach the team and your job to develop the team. And then if there's a conversation about, well, no, I disagree with you. Well, okay, then what's next? Do we go our separate ways? Do you relinquish control? I like those are adult conversations that we have. If we're if I'm an owner and I own the team outright, you know what I mean? Like I'm not telling the coach that I don't want him to coach, but if the coach doesn't want to coach that particular team because we're committing to a certain player, then anyway, that's
we ought to have this place where we save notes, where we can like save quotes or save predictions or save things for future times. Like we should start a Google Doc with like just little things we want to remember for the future. And one of the things I want to remember is Nate's quote that Bill Belichick ain't shit. That's because that's what I heard. I just heard you say the long and short of it was you saying Bill Belichick ain't shit. Why is there a shocked face up in the corner of your screen?
That's me putting a reaction on my camera. Like, and now I'm laughing because I should mark the times, just tick marks, mark the times like that you say things that didn't happen. Like, especially when you call it a quote and it's not an actual quote. It's an interpretation.
I read between the lines. There's a little bit of interpretation there, but I stand by what I heard.
No, Wally will be the entertainment of this podcast forever when he says shit like that. I remember Wally, you, me, and your mom, and we were driving back from Farmington, and I was like, dude, you were actually really funny. And your mom was like, yeah, you're just realizing that now?
Is that past tense? Like, yeah. My man, 20 years ago, you were hilarious.
You're not funny.
You're just an asshole now, but.
Let me ask you
two things can be true, Wally. Two things can be true.
Let me ask you this, Wally, though. I want you, Wally, to be Robert Kraft when Tom Brady comes to him.
I'd love to be. I'd love a hand job.
And says that he wants to play for the Patriots and he wants X amount of dollars. First, you tell me what you think the contract is worth that this person, this individual wants at that time, and then tell me how. Now, knowing what you know now, tell me how you would handle that. Let's say you have hindsight.
So are you saying right now that so if I'm Bill Bell, you're telling me right now that Tom Brady left because Robert Kraft didn't pay him enough money? Is this what you're saying?
No,
because I disagree with that.
No, I'm not saying that. Tom Brady.
You said that if he comes through the contract, the contract demand,
Robert Kraft said he didn't want to sign him.
Robert Kraft said it was Bill Belichick's team.
Yeah,
he didn't say he didn't.
So what is the difference if the owner says that he's backing the coach?
There's a huge difference.
Right.
There's a huge difference. Okay. He wanted to re-sign Brady, but he wasn't going to overstep Bill Belichick's football decisions. That's what I've always heard.
Yep, that's what I've heard too. The recent documentary.
And that's an important distinction. He loves Tom Brady, and I think that he regrets. And I think that they put that together, that whole document, basically to say that he regrets not backing Tom Brady in that decision. Because the decision wasn't about money. It was me or him. And it was Belichick. It was Brady basically saying me or him. Let's be honest. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And so you wouldn't have chosen Tom Brady? Is that what you're saying? You wouldn't have.
I'm not saying that. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I don't think I would have in that moment. No. I think I would have backed Belichick.
Yeah. And Nate, let me say this.
Why? Just out of curiosity, why?
Go ahead, Wally.
Okay, because I think that in that moment, and I think that it may have been the wrong decision, if I'm being 100% honest with you. But I think in that moment, it's the chicken or the egg conversation. Like, who made who? And I'm not trying to, and this is not trying to undercut Brady, but Belichick put together some unbelievably dominant defenses that won us those first 3 Super Bowls. They were consistently good through the entire run of our dominance. Our defense was a huge piece of every team they were in. So then it's not like trying to denigrate Brady, but if in that moment you were asking me to pick between the two, I think at that time it would have been 51-49 Belichick Brady. Now it turns out that it was maybe 51-49 Brady Belichick. I don't know.
Yep.
But in that moment, I pick Belichick, and I do it every time.
You are on record as saying that you believe that it was Bill Belichick saying that he didn't want Tom Brady, and that Robert Kraft was backing him. That's correct, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I think
No,
right.
no. I'm not on record as saying Bill Belichick said he didn't want Tom Brady. I'm on record as saying I don't think Brady wanted Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
Belichick wanted Brady. Belichick would have re-signed Brady. It wasn't a football decision. It wasn't Brady chose not to go back to the Patriots, right?
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep. Yeah, Brady was done with the Patriots. He left. He said that out loud. I left. Because basically Robert Kraft had a choice between Belichick and Brady, and Robert Kraft chose Belichick because that 2018 Super Bowl, like that was a defensive, masterminded Super Bowl by Belichick. Can we all agree on that?
We can't agree with that. But Nate just said to what we just said. You disagree with that take, Nate?
No, I feel like you said that Bill Belichick didn't want Tom Brady, and that Rob Kraft backed Bill Belichick.
No, that's
So
not
you're
what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Okay, I understand that. So the question then is, you're saying that both Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft wanted Tom Brady back, and Tom Brady made the decision to leave the New England Patriots.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would
that's what I'm
agree with
saying.
that.
And what is the reasoning why he left?
Because of Bill Belichick. He wanted a different style of coaching. He did not want to be under an authoritarian. He didn't want to be under Bill Belichick's thumb. And partially, if I'm being honest, Brady is acutely aware of legacy, and I think he wanted to do it without Belichick.
Yep.
If I'm being 100% honest. He's never said that. He said the exact opposite. I've got no data or any reason to believe that to be the case, other than just something tells me that he wanted to be able to say he did it without Belichick.
When he came out at the Tom Brady night and said, "There's no coach I'd rather play for than Bill Belichick," like that was on purpose, and I loved it. And I think he knows it. He knows that Bill Belichick helped make him, but he wanted just that next level.
Here's the problem I have with that though, Chet. Who is Tom Brady's hero? Who's Tom Brady's hero?
His dad.
And what does his dad say about Bill Belichick?
That it's going to end badly and things are not going to go well.
He's not a fan. He's not a fan of Bill Belichick. He's come out and said a couple things about him that would lead one to believe he's not a fan of Bill Belichick.
No, but that's the thing though. Like there's people I can't stand in my life who've also made me so much better. Right? Like so I think that
Are you talking about us? Are you talking about us again? Because we're right fucking here, man.
All right, I like to hear these things.
We can all agree though, right? There are people in your life that like push you, and like you may not like them at first, but then at some point you go, "Oh, you know what? They did have my best interest." And maybe Brady's the same age as me, so he might be at this point where he's like, "Oh shit, now I see it, right? Like I see it." So
when I was a kid, it was my stepfather, Jimmy. Jimmy was tough as a kid. He was a tough guy to grow up with at times. He was very hard on us. But he always had my best interest at heart, and I didn't see it as well then as I see it now.
Exactly.
I'm very appreciative of it.
Right. So you can see that. Like, and I think that like Tom Brady, it's weird to think about because he's like a fucking icon, but he's like the same age as us, basically. So like he's probably realizing some of these things the same time we are.
Yep.
That's kind of my thought around it. But like, so Nate, on record, I will say this. Tom Brady left the Patriots not because he doesn't love the Patriots or the fan base. He left the Patriots because he had to go do it on his own to make sure that like he had to figure out for himself, like, can I do this somewhere else? And I think COVID sucked, but I think in a way he got this opportunity to do it in a time when like everything was strange, and he did it. So good for him. But I think Robert Kraft made the choice to keep Belichick, and I think it has to do a lot with the 2018 Super Bowl. Like, I think if Brady was like just battling back and they won the Super Bowl by 3 points because Brady, scored every single time they were on offense and the other offense kept scoring the same time, I think Robert Kraft would have been like, okay, Belichick, you're gone.
So then, if you're Robert Kraft and Brady gives you the ultimatum of, it's Bill Belichick or me.
Yep.
First of all, I think we've all at some point maybe had a relationship with somebody where an ultimatum was either given or delivered, right? And that relationship probably didn't end very well, which most relationships that where ultimatums are given or delivered, they never really end well.
Doesn't go well.
And they're not good relationships to begin with. But if you're Bob Kraft, Mr. Robert Kraft, and Tom Brady, the guy who's delivered wealth, or been a part of delivering wealth to you and your family and the franchise, is the face of the franchise, and who me as a fan, I look at as somebody that this dude has earned the right to not ever wear another uniform. He's earned the right for me to be honestly disgusted at the thought of seeing him in another uniform, let alone coming into the same stadium that I own and playing against me on the opposite sideline or the opposite line of scrimmage. What would you do in that instance if you were Robert Kraft? Not knowing what you know now, or you can
going back to like that point, like not knowing what I know now, I'd pick Belichick. The guy is a fucking genius. Bill Belichick was criticized in 1985 for his defenses being too old school, and he learned over time that his defense still worked, will always work. The fundamental understanding he has of how football works still works. He calls timeouts at the perfect time. The guy's a fucking genius. Like, we can't take that for granted, right? So you look at I still go back to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Like, Bill Belichick established himself once again as the reason why this team has won. And I would have made that choice. Now, in hindsight, Nate, I totally would have chose Brady. He's still alive. He's still vibrant. He's still going for it. He still has the fire. Bill Belichick clearly lost some fire at some point. I'm not sure when or how, but I would have made the same choice Robert Kraft made. And I'm putting that on record. And I love Brady.
From an objective, like a data analysis kind of perspective, to side with a coach over a 40-year-old quarterback, like how many years is the 40-year-old, like statistically and historically, how many years does a 41-year-old quarterback have left? None. Like there are 3 years past like what the data says they should be playing at. So to pick so everything you said about Tom Brady, like about not wanting him on the other sideline, making you sick to your stomach, Nate, all that stuff, 100% true. But you could say the exact same thing about Belichick, right? He was there for the entire run. He was like they were part and parcel of the exact same thing. So everything you just said is true, but it's also true about Belichick. So it's not like it's all or nothing. This is why it's 51-49.
Yeah, I agree.
I think in that moment, you pick the one that you think can leverage your current position into another championship run or dynasty, and it's the coach. The quarterback can't do that at 40 years old. It's a good business decision to stick with the coach over the quarterback. Can
we all agree it was the wrong decision? However, like we would have all, it was the wrong decision.
Wrong decision. It was the wrong decision. Yeah, it was the wrong decision. Yeah. Brady was the right decision.
The Brady proves everybody wrong. That's what he does. So it was a wrong decision.
For all time.
But I think the question was under the guise of we don't know what we know now. I would have done the same thing that Belichick and Kraft did, and I would have been wrong.
Yep, I agree.
I don't know. I mean, I don't own a football team, and I don't have millions of dollars in the bank. But I honestly look at it from a different perspective. Just I see again as an NFL owner, like I think that I would be a little bit more progressive, right? I would look at the landscape of the league and like what direction is, and especially at this time, like Tom Brady was moving out. We had a first round draft pick, right?
Yeah.
Which we used on Mac Jones after Tom Brady left, correct?
Yep. Number 15.
We
Yep.
had a top
No.
a top draft pick. I don't know what the number was, but
No, I remember we had a year of Cam Newton. We didn't draft Mac. We signed Cam Newton. We drafted Mac Jones the year after, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's true. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
you're right.
So no, we didn't. We didn't have. No, because we lost in the playoffs. Tom, we lost in. I mean, what round of the playoffs did we lose in when Tom Brady and then Tom Brady left?
So
You know
when
what I mean?
Newton came in,
Where we signed Cam.
9, we did not make the playoffs. Then we signed Mac Jones. We brought him in. We made the playoffs and got killed by Buffalo.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I think I would have, from a business perspective, went in a different direction. Like, just because, I mean, how much longer is that guy going to be relevant on the sidelines, as well as how much longer is this quarterback? And again, I'm sorry.
So-
I'm sorry. I have like very little to zero wealth. So if I had somebody that was responsible for me having a lot of wealth, and in the same aspect has taken a pay cut or restructured a contract year after year after year to help provide more for others to be on the field, to supply the organization with more capital to put more people on the field, whether it's on the same side that he plays on or the other. I recognize that as a sacrifice, and I recognize that as I need to keep that individual here. And then
Can I add another dynamic that we're not talking about?
Yeah.
Is maybe the roster decay was so great that even with Brady here, we weren't going to be a very good team, right? Maybe we had lost so much in terms of the offensive and defensive line that Brady was reading the tea leaves and saying, this team was not going to be good. It was not going to be good whether I'm a quarterback or not. Could we have been a little bit better? Maybe. I don't know. But the roster was bad.
Yeah.
The roster is bad.
Yeah.
The
And I stand by it. I stand by it. Brady chose to leave.
pre like the roster almost every year, with the exception of having people that we knew were already proven, which again, because of the guy behind the center taking the snaps, that was the reason why they were proven, in my opinion, because year after year after year, people left and signed a bigger contract with another team and never did anything, both offensively and defensively. So, like, I mean, yeah, I don't know who. I would say you put Tom Brady behind center of that same team that Cam Newton went to battle with, and they're in the AFC Championship more than likely.
Nope. I would agree that they make the playoffs, but they lose the first round the same way they did the year.
We had a better roster the year before.
Yeah.
With Tom Brady at quarterback.
Yeah.
I
Like so that
we did.
The year before with Tom Brady, when he threw the pick six to, I think, Logan Ryan, maybe.
You can say no, but if there is not one person that you know of that it currently is in the NFL right now that you wouldn't that holds the same weight as Tom Brady as far as betting against that person. Like, you put Tom Brady on the field,
I agree.
we know things that are going to happen. We know we don't hope that it gets to the last 2 minutes and it's up to him to decide the game. But we know that, and we have the confidence that if it gets to that, then we're going to bet on the guy that we have under center.
I agree.
But could it also have been that, again, Tom Brady's a smart man. Not only did he want to get away from Belichick, but he saw the roster. He knew he wasn't going to win with the Patriots. They didn't win the year before. They were losing more players. It was time to pay the piper. We had been so good for so long. He went to a roster. That Tampa Bay roster he went to and then brought with him was fucking stacked.
Amazing.
Top to bottom stacked.
He brought Gronk, who retired, back in. Like,
to add to Evans and Chris Godwin, in the prime of their careers.
Or on the Patriots, he had what?
I mean,
Um,
we'd have to look
Exactly.
it up.
See, no. That pause is all we needed, right there.
We'd have to look it up.
On
Yeah.
the Patriots, he had what?
Edelman. He still had a very injured Edelman.
But still,
Julian
the
Edelman,
ultimatum. Sure. If he didn't believe in the roster and didn't want to be there, he wouldn't have said it's either me or him. Right? So he believes.
Yeah, I'm past that point. I'm on to a new point.
All right. Well, I'm out of topic, so.
Oh, we can keep going. I'm good. N'Keal Harry or Mike or Mike Evans?
Jeez, we already know the answer to that.
Oh, we
already know the answer to that.
My bad.
I mean, Matt Patricia as your offensive coordinator, or Joe? What was his name? Joe Judge, the guy that failed as the
Joe Judge,
Giants coach.
The Giants coach, like.
If you're the Giants and you sign a special teams coach as your head coach, then you get what you deserve.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't disagree with that.
Look at the contract they gave to Daniel Jones.
What was that? Why?
They're a terrible franchise.
Like I don't understand.
Technically, he's underpaid, and he's probably valued correctly at the price tag that they're paying him.
If you guys are looking for a good interview, those Giants teams from the early '80s, I really enjoy them for the Belichick connection, for the Parcells connection. But mostly for LT. LT was on Up in Smoke podcast. Have you guys watched Up in Smoke at all? It's with Steven Jackson and Harrison Barnes.
Steven Jackson,
very good. Yeah. It's a very good podcast. What's that?
The old Rams running back?
No, Steven Jackson. I remember he's an ex-Pacers. He's an NBA player. They're two NBA players.
NBA player. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. LT was on their podcast. It's well worth the listen. If you guys ever are looking for something to listen to, listen to that. Pull that up. It's a good podcast. They've had a lot of really great interviews. They interviewed Kobe back in the day. They've been around for a little while, but that's a specifically good interview. He talks a lot about Belichick. Like when he found out Belichick was named the defensive coordinator, he stormed into Parcells' office and said, "What the fuck are you doing? This is absolute bullshit. This guy should be shagging my balls. He shouldn't be our defensive coordinator." And the Parcells was like, "Well, he's all the defenses we've run for the last 2 years have been his defenses." So we gave him an opportunity, and then turned out to love him.
I love that.
What platform is that?
It's well worth a listen.
I'm definitely on that. So guys, current, because I know, Nate, you said you're out of topics, so I just have to ask. The 49ers right now are decimated. We are traveling there. Jacoby Brissett has already been named the starter. And I struggle with that decision, but it's not because of Jacoby Brissett. I like Jacoby Brissett a lot, but I think Drake May might do better behind that offensive line than Jacoby Brissett does. That said, what do you guys think about next Sunday?
I think that you cannot put him behind that offensive line. He will get injured. He will get hurt. You can't do it. I hear what you're saying, and I think you're right. I think he might be able to do better because he's certainly more elusive. And eventually he might have to go in. Because frankly, again, I said it once, and I'll say it again, Jacoby Brissett is going to get injured. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Every time he gets hit, he's rubbing something. He's doing one of these. He's old. He's taking too many shots, and he's going to get hurt. This is just the law of averages.
So
then the question is Drake May going in? Are you going to throw Milton in? Because I still think behind that offensive line, I don't necessarily, if we have a premier, if we think he's the guy, we think he's going to he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt.
I know, Wally. I know. It sucks. It sucks that we're sitting here talking about a guy as good as Jacoby Brissett is. We just know we're just putting him out there to get slaughtered. He must know that too. And he still goes out there
know that too. He's a sacrificial lamb.
I love Jacoby Brissett. I might get a jersey just for this year.
I know. I respect the hell out of the guy because he has to know that he's just a sacrificial lamb.
he does now. And I can respect that. Like, that's amazing. But like San Francisco is pretty fucked right now. But you think that they're basically their C team will still beat us? Because I think they might.
Yeah, no, they'll beat us and they'll beat us handily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It won't be particularly close.
They play the Rams this week, who's decimated it themselves, and yeah, they'll probably beat them, and then we'll try to go blow for blow with them.
Yeah, we shall. But to your points, like Nate, all of us have made good points about like what we need to do to get better. It just depends, honestly, on whether or not the personnel that we have can listen, understand the coaching, and then actually truly physically perform on the field. And well, the coach, in my opinion, it's not about the physical capability, it's about the mental.
You know what this team will do? This team will be consistently. Go ahead.
The coaches have 9 days to come up with a game plan, an effective game plan. And again, it's all we need. All we need is to keep it close in the first half. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't expect us to outscore San Francisco in the first half, but you know, a 7-3 game is not unrealistic because we're probably not going to score against their defense very well, and we can hold, I think, Brock Purdy in that offense, which is also decimated as far as their offensive weapons.
Exactly, I'm saying.
Minus Jordan Mason. They have Brandon Ayuk, but he's still not in sync. And again, we'll see how they perform this week. You know, they could be the next, New York Jets where they turn a page and like offensively and defensively, they're clicking on all cylinders. So,
we'll see.
But we got 9 days to come up with a game plan, and I think the coaching staff will do a good job. And again, they're young players. They're young players, so they'll get recovered. They'll do what they need to do. They're all the thing that I like about every player on that team, with the exception of Jacoby Brissett, is that they feel the need to prove themselves. They're trying to prove themselves, whether it's for the next contract, the next play, the next series. I don't know what it is, but it's a bunch of unknowns. Let's just put it.
You're putting a lot of faith in this coaching staff making adjustments. I've got no reason to believe they're able to do that. I will see what we can do. Like, I don't know what to expect of Gerard Mayo as a coach. I haven't liked what I've seen so far. I don't like his interviews. I don't like what he's saying. I don't like what I'm seeing on the field. They're not getting better. They're getting worse. So I appreciate the faith you have. I don't share it. I don't share it at all. Well, he's got to perform. We got to see something. I got to see better. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like what I see.
We got to see something. We got to see something because I agree. Well, that is the NFL is the ultimate meritocracy, right? We always hear that. It's so true. You perform.
So one thing. I mean, when Drake May came in, yes, the game was out of reach. There was
garbage. It was garbage
nothing. Yep. Probably nothing he could have done. But there was a drastic shift in the offensive strategy, and yes, it was, inside of 3 minutes when he took over the offense. But it was all spread. It was a spread offense.
Oh yeah,
with our talent and with Ramondre wasn't in there. Whether it was because Antonio Gibson's a better receiver, whatever it is, but it was a different offensive set and mindset. And again, if you look at it from a perspective of, it was a 2-minute drill. Yeah, but okay, what did it do? It spread the defense out. It made the defense change their philosophy. Was there still pressure? Yes, because man on man, it just wasn't like we're not going to win that every one of those battles up front, man on man. So why didn't we see Jacoby Brissett in those offensive sets? You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. I think it's because he doesn't have the ability that Drake May does. I think that he's strong and he's powerful, but I think Drake May is fast and talented. I think they have to run different offenses based on the talents of the quarterback at that time, is my guess. I could be wrong about that, but that'd be my guess.
Listen, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to make fun of me for the rest of this podcast. for as long as it lives. Ready? This is why I miss Bill Belichick. He taught me how to win games. When I play video games, I play Madden a lot. I love it. I put headphones on, I listen to music, I play Madden. I beat everybody. And it's not because the roster that I have is the best. It's because I know exactly what to do when. And I did not come up with that shit myself. Like that's not my original idea. I learned from Belichick, like, holy shit, this is how you play football. Call a timeout at the right time, do the right thing, run a couple times, like get them to play, get them frustrated so they play like a blitz on you, and then throw a screen. Like this is all the shit I learned from Belichick. I rarely lose at Madden, and I still play video games. I'm 45, and I fucking love it.
Because you have Bill Belichick's defensive and offensive strategy implied.
I think so. I think so. Like
you just really tried to tell a story to emphasize Belichick's greatness by your Madden performance.
Huh?
That's not helping. This isn't helping our narrative about Belichick being the best coach of all time. If your best comparison is your performance as a Madden player.
I will say, though, having Chet Bowen as the offensive coordinator is much better than having making the decision of having Matt Patricia and Joe Judge go back and forth and sword fight over offensive plays. But
listen, I don't know things about football until I watch it, and then I watched Bill Belichick and what he does. The guy was fucking great, and the way he did things in real life, I emulate that on a stupid video game, and it works.
He's okay. As much as I admire him, and I'm going to play the devil's advocate just a little bit. As much as I admire him, and let me backtrack. I have a question for Wally.
Like, what is Wally doing right now? What is
that? Yeah. By the way, I'm not going to let the "he's okay" comment slide. Belichick's not okay. He's not that he's okay. Anyway, go ahead. Ask my question.
The question that I have for you is: you said that you don't like his interviews in the media. So, like Jared Mayo's. So, what don't you like about him?
I don't know, man. I just don't like the way they sound. I don't like his answers. I don't like how flippant he is. I don't feel like he takes things seriously. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just an old school, stuck in the mud football fan, and I like my little information Bill Belichick interviews. Thank you very much. I don't want him to tell me anything. And I just feel like, I don't know. I don't like what I've seen so far.
So you just don't like what you've seen, not what you've heard, or is it something? Has he said something that just left you like, why would
there's been a couple ways he's answered. I'm trying to remember the specific questions, and I can't. I think they're pursuant to who's the starting quarterback and here and there. I'm just telling you, I haven't liked what I've heard. I don't know. What do you want me to say? I don't like what I've heard.
I just want you to answer the question. That's all, and you did. I'm just like
he answered the question. And Nate, here's what I hate. I'm gonna put this on fucking record. When I saw it happen, I was like, oh no. But then I was very hopeful because I have an unbridled passion for this team. So like I let it go. But then I saw what happened last night, and I was like, fuck. They gave Gerard Mayo a Gatorade bath on the first game of the season when they beat Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And at the time I saw it, and I was like, of course I was happy because we won, but I was like, don't do that shit. Do not do that shit. And now I'm like terrified if that's going to be like what we're made fun of for the rest of, the year, or for 3 years, or until we actually reestablish ourselves as an actual threat. Nobody is scared of the Patriots right now. And that sucks.
No. And the thing about it is, we knew this team was going to stink. We just wanted to see how it gets better, right? Like his success is fair or unfair. And I want him to succeed. It's going to be gauged on not our win-loss record, but how the team performs and how they improve over the course of the year. Like we brought him in to really position us for next year, the year after. Like we need to draft an offensive line. We know this. We're going to need some more help with the defensive line, I think. But we need talent. We need talent. They need to improve. We need to improve. Our defense needs to gel together. Yeah.
It all has to happen, but like we're not there yet. And so like giving him a Gatorade bath on week 1, I just don't feel great.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look, right?
It is. It is.
That's I think that's weird.
That's like
I think that's weird that you guys are bringing that up after week 3. 1. Number two, that guy has put more blood, sweat, and tears into that franchise than either one of us has as a fan. He bled on that field, man. Like you don't think every one of those players, 1, know that, and 2, the way he treats them, the way he is very personable with them, the way he invests in each individual, as far as I'm invested in you as an individual, but also you as a football player on this team. You don't think that's the reason why? You don't think? Here's my impression of Jared Mayo. You don't think that he's telling everyone, the dude that put the Gatorade on him because it's on film, like, dude, don't ever do that again. Like, I was happy for you guys for winning that game. That wasn't me. That was, yes, my first victory as a coach, but that wasn't me. Like, because I've been where you are before. I'm not the guy winning the game just because I'm wearing a headset over here. Like, that's what I think of him, and that's almost what I'm, in fact, certain he told everybody with closed doors. And
probably.
So are you okay with it or not?
Am I okay with the Gatorade bath? That was a decision that a player made. That's not something that he's
no. I
overjoyed about.
I get that.
And excited about. He did.
I understand that. So the player that did it, you okay with the player that did it? The player that made that decision?
Yes, because again, that's the respect that they have for him as
I
a coach,
that.
as an individual, as a player that is currently playing, and one that is not playing anymore and is now coaching. I do agree it was a little over the top, but I thought it was appropriate because of where he was the last top 10 draft pick that actually meant something to the franchise.
Yeah.
And he's now the coach. Like, he's come a long way. And for him, I think that was a sign of respect. I think he would have wanted it handled differently. That's not something that he had control.
Yeah, no, I don't put that on him. To be fair, I do not put
his first victory. It's not going to be his last. I mean, but I don't judge the guy on that. Like, he can't control that. He didn't.
I was just saying, like, overall, it's a bad look if we suck this year. Like, and if it sucks for him that, like, they gave him a Gatorade bath and we lose every game except for maybe 2 or 3.
I mean, again, I look at it as this team is not Jared Mayo's team. This is a team that Bill Belichick left the New England Patriots with.
Yeah.
It's what he has to put on the field. I also agree that the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, neither one of the sides of the ball are the type of team/players that those coaches want on the field for their system.
I hear you.
So it's going to take some time. Yes. We could go back to this question again. If we know we need some talent, why the fuck are we $40 million under the cap?
I don't understand.
Makes no sense.
I mean, let's just say we invested that $40 million into 3 offensive linemen over the next 4 years. We could still draft. We'd have depth on the offensive line. Those offensive linemen that we drafted would have an opportunity to see how professional offensive linemen do things and skilled offensive linemen do things.
So this is the question. This is the question every single NFL owner is scared of. Do we simply not have the money? Because that's a real thing.
That can't be. No, it can't be. It can't. TV rights alone and what they take in and pay. I mean, we're not a small market team.
I know, not anymore.
This is my argument with the Red Sox, and this is what makes me so incredibly angry. and this might be my Northeast elitism speaking out, but we pay a shit ton of money to watch TV, to go to the games, to live where we live, to watch what we watch. There's a shit ton of us, and we're fucking loyal, and we're going to invest a ton of money in your product. So put that, like the Celtics, put it back on the floor. Put that money back on the field. Like, don't come in $40 million under the salary cap and then expect me to pay full price for my tickets or for my beer or for my parking. Like, fuck you. We're paying a ton of money to be the fan here, more than any other place.
Ever.
And because of that, we deserve you to spend every dime that you can, especially in the football. You got a hard cap. Spend to the limit.
But I've seen, like, I'm not a baseball fan, but I listen to radio every day. And what I have heard is that the only reason the owners of the Red Sox have decided to like try to do something is because the fans stopped going. And so I hear that and I'm like, oh shit, okay. Like the fans are like, they were offering like $18 for standing only seats. Like that's back in 2004 when I still cared about baseball. I remember it was a lot of money to get into a game.
They've got some players coming up through. The Red Sox have built from the minors up, and they've got a lot of really high level. In fact, their number one prospect just got named the number one prospect in baseball, Roman Anthony.
Yay!
Yeah, so in the last week.
Next year,
their minor league system has slowly been built up to they've got a crop of talent coming through soon.
I like that. That's good.
He's still in AAA? The prospect?
He got promoted from AA to AAA. I went and saw him in AA. Him, Marcelo Mayer, our shortstop. We got another guy, Jeff Teal, who's a catcher. That are all very, very good. Those are our top three. And there's we got a couple. We got a handful of guys.
Tell me about that. When you saw him at AA, what'd you see?
I was more impressed with Mayer. Anthony's a big, hard-hitting first baseman. Like he drops bombs. It's a lot of home runs. Hits for average, hits for power. Mayer is a tall, powerful shortstop. He again hits bombs, hits for average. He's steals some bases. They've done a nice job building up the minor leagues. We have a legitimate minor league system now. One of the top 10, I'd say.
I love that. We went to see the Manchester, whatever it is, and I was so excited until I realized
Fisher Cats.
Yeah, but apparently that's like for Toronto.
It is. I've enjoyed that too. So we got to see like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and all their players come up through. They got some great bobblehead giveaways. That you guys know I click bobbleheads. And the minor league teams give away by far the best bobbleheads. Fisher Cats gave away sumo wrestlers a couple of years. Anyway, so I go to Manchester a lot. I go to Portland. I didn't get to Worcester at all this year, and I'm pretty upset about that because I've heard a lot of good things about that stadium, but I want to go to Worcester this year. Yeah.
Wally,
Red Sox.
Anytime you want to go, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it's like, Wally, anytime that you want to go to a Fisher Cats game, I would be honored. Your whole family. I have an apartment down
here.
Awesome. Stay here.
Love to. Dave Andrus and I go to all the bobblehead games and get bobbleheads. But I go to. They're so much fun. My kids like them. We don't even stay for the whole game. We go and stay for about 4 innings. We've been increasing over the years. But they're always fun. They're spectacles. They always have good events going on or giveaways or things happening that we can always have fun.
Nice. I like it. Bring all the kids.
All of them. I'll bring them both. Okay. And we got 2.
Wally, I want you to send some pictures on the chat of your most prized bobbleheads.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I'd love to.
I'd love for you.
I didn't show you guys. Let me show you this one right here. I got one. We were on some sort of family vacation, and my family took. Sometimes when we're on vacation, we take like a long way home, and we'll just kind of spend the day driving. And we'll stop and we call it everyone's got a chance. So everyone can make a decision to stop. You get one per trip. So Walter can say, I want to go there. And Dory can say, I want to go there, and we have to stop. So it's a fun way to spend a day.
That's
we stopped. We were driving through some small town in northern Vermont, and they had an arcade on the main street, like a really old kind of not what I expect arcade, but it was
like
open.
A creepy killer clowns from outer space, kind of.
Like right out of the 60s. Like they had classic games, they had some ticket giveaways. It was like it was built into the side of like a main street kind of historic building. It just wasn't what I expected. We stopped there, had fun. It was a great time. But I looked up and they had a couple bobbleheads. And I'm like, wow, Jesus. I said, are you a Johnny Pesky fan? Because the guy had a Johnny Pesky bobblehead. And now, not many people would know Johnny Pesky. Like, do you guys know who Johnny Pesky is, either one of you?
Yeah, I don't. Pesky Pole, man, yes.
Yeah. So there was two of
oh my God.
That's Ken Griffey. This one's
Ken Griffey. What's up, Ken Griffey?
Move him out of the way, yeah.
This one's Johnny Pesky. And he's leaning on Pesky's pole. That's sorry.
So tell me, like, educate me. What's Pesky?
So I'm like Johnny Pesky played with Ted Williams. He was an outfield, shortstop. Dom DiMaggio was the second baseman.
Filter in the background that you have on your Zoom. That's
probably is. So I asked him. I said, "Are you a Johnny Pesky fan?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Your bobblehead right there. That's Johnny Pesky." Oh, he said, "Oh no." He said, "I was walking down the street a couple years back, and some guy was just throwing them all away. So I brought them over here. I've been selling them for $2.50." I'm like, well, shit. I said, that's a $50 bobblehead. And he had two of them. I said, well, I'll buy them both. He said at one point he had 30 of them, different types, but he had those two and he had a Ken Griffey one that I bought.
Oh my God.
My most prized bobblehead. I've got a bunch of good ones. I got a Magic and No, Ken Griffey Jr.
Is it?
Playing for the Reds.
Griffey Sr. played for Cincinnati, and then that's where Ken Griffey ended up. So I was just clarifying. But yeah, the pesky pole, man. That's cool. What were you saying, Trent?
No, I appreciate the education on like why that matters. Yeah, I have like a couple bobbleheads, but they're mostly Shawn Michaels.
My favorite 4 bobbleheads is actually Johnny Pesky's in one of them too. Johnny Pesky, Bobby Dorr, Ted Williams, and Dom DiMaggio, who's Joe DiMaggio's brother. He played center field for the Red Sox. He was a better defensive center fielder than Joe. Hall of Famer. I've got a set of the 4 of them that were special giveaways of them in their military. They all served in World War II. So it's them in their military uniforms. They're my favorite ones. I've got another one of Ted Williams sitting in a jet because he was a fighter pilot. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, he was badass.
Damn.
I got some good ones.
I like that.
Yeah, man. All right, let's talk about pizza money, Wally.
Oh, let's do it.
So now listen, Nate has been on fire as of late. His picks are hitting at an alarming rate. I've missed almost every single thing I've bet on. So I don't know if we even want to go with mine or we just go with yours straight away. I had a parlay. Hold on, I got to pull it up though. I got to find it.
I'm disappointed that we didn't hit the. What was the one that hit for? I thought we'd definitely get. Was it the Brees Hall and Stevenson and a touchdown, right? Each was it 70 accumulative?
Yeah, 70 and a touchdown each, and that would have been big. We would have won big on that one.
I thought that one would hit for sure. I didn't like that after the fumble, Stevenson didn't get back in there, and it seemed like we went away from the fucking run.
We did when we were down 3 touchdowns.
I didn't agree with that, honestly. That was the only way we were moving the chains. And also keeping our quarterback upright. Like, didn't make any sense. I understand the philosophy, like we gotta move the ball in chunk yardage, but that's not our That doesn't seem to be Brissett's strong suit, especially when we have him in 2 tight end sets. Like I think we need to explore the option of, again, I'm going on a tangent here, but we need to explore the option of putting him in the same packages that they had for Drake May and his 2-minute offense.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. They haven't put the specials out yet, but I'm big on Houston over Minnesota. I think Houston's going to win by quite a bit. There's a quick parlay. Houston money line over Minnesota, over of 23.5 for Houston. I think they're going to blow that away. In over 2.5 total touchdowns for Houston, plus 160. So if we bet 10 on that, we would make $26. I feel like it's a good bet. I think Houston wins. I think Houston wins handily. I like their offense a lot. I don't think Minnesota. I think if anything, they're going to get into a shootout. I don't think either one's a very strong defensive team.
Yeah, I think Minnesota wins that game, man.
You think Minnesota wins that game? I don't think they do. I think Houston wins pretty handily. I think Houston's going to be one of the top teams in football this year.
Man. Yeah, the money's going towards them, but they're also the underdogs, 3-point underdogs. So, I'm down with it.
Minnesota in that game. I would go Minnesota in that game.
Yeah, I like Minnesota to win because I think they're going to win by at least 3 points, and all they need to do is not lose by 2 points or 3 points in order for us to win. But you want to go on the opposite side of that, right, Wally?
I definitely would go on the opposite side of that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm high on Houston. I've been high on Houston all year. I feel like that those receivers, Tank Dell, like people are sleeping on Tank Dell, and I'm a big Tank Dell fan.
I just traded Tank Dell yesterday.
Yeah, he hasn't done much, so I would understand why you would.
Wally's a big fan of Cooper Kupp, and he traded.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Cooper Kupp too.
Didn't end well.
He's out for. Well, fuck. I don't talk about it. Fuck you, Nate.
Fuck you, Tom.
I'm a fan of both of them, honestly, Tank Dell and Cooper Kupp. But if they're not on the field, I'm in a predicament in one of my leagues where I need another quarterback because I have Bryce Young, but I can play 2 quarterbacks, and I'm trying to trade next year's some picks next year for another quarterback, and one guy wants. I made a trade proposal was my first round next year for Anthony Richardson and another wide receiver that he has, plus a wide receiver that I have.
You can trade next year's. You can trade next year's draft picks.
Yeah, because it's a keeper league. So
I like the keeper leagues. I do like those. Yeah. Also, I'm not sure who I'm playing.
What?
I am rooting against myself when I say this, but I'm not sure who I'm playing next week, but I think it might be a child because there are 3 people in the starting lineup that is on IR.
Yeah, so, it's Colton.
Yeah, let's give Colton a chance and make sure that someone changes the lineup for that poor kid.
I told his mom. We'll see what happens.
All right, we'll see. All right, good.
I stress that in order to keep competitive balance within the league, your kids need to adjust the roster.
We'll see
what happens with that, huh? Actually, you should call her right now on the Zoom. Chet, I don't know when you got off when we were having the draft. Chet invited my sister to be on here for the duration. Anytime she wants, you have an open invitation.
So she's going to talk on occasionally.
I don't have a problem with that. I just don't know.
No.
She didn't really know what it is we do here.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, but I did invite her last week. She just said she couldn't make it. I told her to come on the topic though.
Let's call her right now.
Go ahead. Call her.
Okay.
We're not going to call her in the middle of the night. It's 11 o'clock at night.
No. Well, yeah, it's 11 o'clock. Yeah.
All right, fine.
Probably
Usually,
not.
Wally usually is the voice of reason.
I
God
could
damn,
send her a text message and ask her if she's still up.
I will do that.
I'll text her and ask her if she's still up. We'll see if she responds. She didn't respond to me when I sent her a text message about adjusting rosters.
It might not be her number one priority.
Oh,
maybe.
sorry, Wally. What was your Wally's pizza money? He left.
He left. It's all right. He'll be back. That's what he does. Oh my goodness gracious.
He wanted Houston. I'd be willing to throw $5 at that or $10. The problem is, at least I've seen, is like we're even the ones that I'm hitting on, we're not betting enough to make it substantial, which I'm okay with because that means when we lose, we're not losing enough to make it substantial either. But,
Yeah, that's fair.
But I feel like if we all agree, like I'm willing to make that bet because it's only $5 or only $10.
Right.
But if we all agree, then we should almost look at it like, ooh, let's make the bet as your $10, my $10, his $10, and make it a $30 bet, and then get a bigger.
We all share either the victory or the loss. I get that.
Yeah, but again, if it's I would, I guess I just say, if Wally likes that bet, then it's $5. If we agree to put $5 on it, then we benefit, but we're not going to go against. But if we say, yeah, we love it, then we up the ante, and now or let's say just because there's 3 people, if it's a $5 bet that we're going to throw at it, if 2 people like it, then it's $10. If 3 people, then now it's 15. Something like that.
I get you. Give me 1 second. 1 second.
Time's up.
Is Wally there?
No, you said 1 second.
Hey,
look.
I'm still the podcast, so I'll call you right back in like a little bit, okay? I'll call you back in a little bit. I love you.
Who's that?
My brother Mel, but he's on FaceTime. And this is how I got the call, right? You want to see it?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, like trust me, I don't judge you for having some, alcohol or some weed, but when you call me like that, I think it's over.
All right, so
how was Mel?
Not sure. I'll call him back.
Wally, your pizza money. You wanted Houston?
Yeah, you want Houston?
Yeah, I want Houston. Houston.
All right, what else we got?
A parlay there, though. What was it?
It was Houston. Houston over 24.5 and over 2.5 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. Houston with an over. 22 was the over? Over under?
The over, no. Houston over 24.5. So they're going to score 25 or above.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was over. Is CD playing this week?
CD Lamb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a big game.
Who are they playing?
CD Lamb.
Oh, they
for Dallas? What are they playing?
They play the Ravens.
They're playing Baltimore.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. CD Lamb's going to kill it that game, I think.
You think so?
Yep.
Right now, it's basically a pick 'em. It's a half point.
Because they get up for that.
I don't know what you're seeing, Wally, but I see a half point. But we could go off of.
Yeah, I see too.
We don't necessarily need to parlay who we favor. We can just go.
Who do you think is going to have a big game? Like, who do you guys want to get behind?
I mean, he has to.
You want to go long odds? Do you want to go sure things? You want to go small money? What are you thinking?
Long odds.
I always love long odds, but then I tend to lose every time.
I'm gonna check the schedule for college football because I had a good one last week.
Wally, I'm not sure if you agree. I just have a feeling that Nate should move back to New Hampshire just so that when we do these podcasts, it's all like the same time for all of us.
Yeah, it gets late. I go to bed at 9:30 most nights.
Usually, me too. So Nate, I think you should move back to New Hampshire for that reason alone. I think it makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. I'll be honest with you.
You still keeping your eye on property up here? Have you seen that? Are you still looking for property, Nate?
I am. Yeah. I can't pull the trigger on anything until I get a job, though.
Yeah.
Until I have somebody as a business partner.
Okay. Well, Nate, I have a whole apartment downstairs in my house.
What's the business?
It would just be property management or just real estate
Development?
Yeah. Just having short-term rentals or rental property.
I know a guy. I'll talk to him. His name is Mike Munoz.
Mike Munoz or Munoz?
Munoz.
Huh.
There's no little thing above the N. So he coaches defense. I coach offense and flag football, and he's a property manager. Let me talk to him.
Really?
Yeah, I'm serious. I'll talk to him.
But he's not wanting other people to get in. Well, yeah, talk to him.
No, he might. He might. Like if he believes that you're willing to work hard, which you are, and he is, like, yeah.
No, I want to own the property that I'm managing, not be a property manager.
That's what I'm saying. Same thing. You want to become an owner.
Yeah, I think he'd be more receptive to talking to you about the aspect of getting into that, not like, oh, I have a friend that wants to
I understand. I'm telling you, I fully understand what you're saying, and he might want an ownership partner.
Okay.
So I'll talk to him.
Man. Michigan versus USC. It's I'm looking at USC's favored by 4.5. What do you think about that?
I can't say. Why? What do you think?
Ask him, Wally.
Oh yeah, good.
I don't know anything about college. I don't know anything about college football.
Neither do I.
Well, we bet on Texas against Michigan. Texas.
Yeah, I mean BC won us money last week.
BC did, yeah.
Thank you, BC.
And that was us picking the under, that was us. Not necessarily betting BC wouldn't lose by X amount of points.
Here's a long odds one that people are betting heavily. Number 1, Texas is playing
UL Monroe, University of
They're favored by 44.5. Ohio State's playing who's Ohio State playing, Nate?
I just saw it. Ohio State is playing somebody like UL Monroe, Marshall.
They're favored by 39.5. Ole Miss is favored by 35.5 over Georgia Southern. Penn State's favored by 49 over Kent State.
Ooh,
they're parlayed together.
Oh, yeah, tell me what that is.
It's plus 1240. So that's basically if we bet
we need to throw $10 at that.
If we bet $5, it's 67. If we bet 10, it's 134.
Yeah, we need to throw $10 at that. You said Ohio State minus 40. This means that we're betting that Ohio State won't win by 40. Texas won't.
No, we're betting that no. We're betting the opposite. We're betting that Texas is going to win by 44.5. We're betting that Ohio State's going to win by over 40 points. That Ole Miss is going to win by over 36 points, and that Penn State will win by 50.
Jeez, I don't know.
Oh,
I
trust
Penn State by 50. Penn State by 49. That's the line right now. Is Kent State that bad? Are they playing a high school team?
They're playing Kent State, which is
are they playing a high school team?
Or wait, Kent State is Ohio. Yeah, it's a 40.
That's absurd. That's absurd.
I honestly like betting both of those in the opposite direction, that they won't win by what they're favored. What is it?
All right, let's parlay them together. Let's take it. Let's take a fucking peek then, Nate. That fucking shit. Sorry, I keep.
Because I don't think that Penn State is going to win by that many. I don't. They'll win, yes, but not by 49. Come on. That literally means that like they're scoring every 7 offensive possessions. Like,
so right now Ohio State's favored by 39.5. So we get, if you want to bet Marshall, it's Marshall plus 39.5 points.
yeah.
So if Marshall loses by 20, we win. You want to throw that in?
Yeah.
All right. And more. And then the other high end one that we saw was
Penn State versus Kent State.
Yeah, I'm scrolling. I'm getting there.
Texas versus UL. If we're trying to triple it up.
Kent State, yeah. Jesus.
Those are just
49-point favorites. All right, we'll take that. And then
this Boston College, we might want to make another bet with BC. Because they're playing in Boston and they're favored by 6 points, but I think they'll beat Michigan State.
Are we going to do Ole Miss? Are we going to bet against Ole Miss too?
Yeah. Is they're playing
Georgia Southern. And then Texas is favored by 44.5. So we're going to bet against them too. So just those 4 without BC, if we bet $5 on that, that's 65. If it's $10, we make 131. Now you want to toss BC in there too? Is that what you're saying?
We can do that independently.
All right. So you want to bet that? Let's just bet 5. That's a long shot. You want to bet 5? You want to bet 10?
On BC or the 3?
On that 4-pick parlay.
10. Well, so this is what Chet and I were talking about. If it's a bet that you want to make, we'll call it a $5 bet. If you like it and you want to bet it, then it's $5 because we'll agree on it. But if I back it and you back it, then it's $10. If Chet backs it, then it's $15.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and again, this is college football, so I really don't know much about any of these teams.
Nope.
It's hard for me to back any of them.
I know nothing.
Well, again, I agree. I don't know anything about the teams, but when you look at a college team playing another college team, winning by 35, like
winning by 50.
Man, that's tough, man. It's hard to do. It can happen, absolutely, but what was Texas last week? They won by.
I mean, the odds are it will happen. That's plus 1217. So again, you bet 5 and win 65. You bet 10 and win 131.
So
it's heavily favored that doesn't happen.
Texas beat UTSA last week 56-7, and that was also after the starting quarterback went out. The new Arch Manning, came in and scored 5 touchdowns. He scored
Arch Manning starting this week
in the second half. Like, that's unprecedented. It was in Texas. There's a lot of different parameters there and motivators, but yeah, I just think that Texas is good, but by the time the second half rolls around, their second team is going to be in, and they're not going to win by 50.
Well, listen, all right. I mean, I got 5 on.
But yeah, I would bet against that. I'm comfortable betting against that. Winning by 38 is still as impressive as winning by 50. And Arch Manning.
All right, I'm betting it.
Is starting.
I like it. Like it. Do it.
All right. Now you want to bet BC separately. Is that what you said, Nate?
Yeah.
Wallet. I also think we should think about the parlay of the windows versus the walls and the ceiling.
The sweat drops down my ball. To all these.
All these people. Oh, skeet skeet.
Motherfucker!
Do you remember that skit with Dave Chappelle?
Oh my God. How do you not remember that? That's amazing.
White people don't even know what it means.
And he was right. I didn't.
Skeet skeet skeet.